Bottom comes and Kage finding two. To get the.
What is up? How we doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing well. Just got a couple of VOD reviews we're going to do tonight. Start off with one from Chef Billy, casting alongside Belly in the EMEA tournament. And then we're going to be looking at a VOD from Spacey after that. I think we're going to get Billy on the call here. Yep, indeed. Let's give him a ring. What's up, Billy? You there?
Oh boy, I'm not hearing.
No. My Discord not reading me on my microphone. There we go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I thought it was me. I didn't hear the ringtone coming in. Oh, I've got streamer mode on.
Well, that'll do it. We are live. What is up, Infinite? It's going very well. Thanks for stopping by.
Hello, my friend.
Ocean said, "Did you know that I'm taller than Billy?" Somehow I doubt that, sir. I'm calling horse feathers.
I'm gonna call horse feathers too.
Horse feathers.
Otherwise known as Pegasus.
That'd be a winged horse. So yeah, I guess Pegasus feathers.
Pegasus feathers. I'm 6'6". I'm 1.98 m for the metric people out there. Yeah, I've got 11. I'm not gonna say that on stream. I've got almost a foot on you, there, Ocean.
That's a lot of centimeters. I don't know exactly how many, but that's a lot of centimeters.
I'm not doing the math right now. You know me in math right now is not good.
Well, shall we hop right into this thing? Let's see if it's pulling up. Oh. We don't need game capture. There we go. You want to introduce this video a little bit?
Okay, so this is from 8 days ago. This is from my EBC. This is the loser brackets final for the Nordic region. EBC stands for. Yep, I know exactly what it stands for, but I really don't. I should. It is a European-based Overwatch competition. You see a lot of either retired OWL players. It's a tier 2.5, I would say. We've seen the likes of Happy Cool, Lulsish, Elivote, Happy Cool coming out of retirement, getting picked up by Young and Beautiful, as I saw in the seeding show very early this morning.
Right.
So he was actually on the stream, and it was really awesome to see that. Anyway, so this is the loser brackets final. They would be going up against Demursus, which had previously stated people on it. Lulsish and Elivote. I fanboyed hard when I found out that they were playing in the winners bracket or in the grand finals of this. So where I've got the timestamp at 13:30. This is after Project L has lost the first map of Control. And they didn't look like the team that I had seen the week before. So we're going into their attack phase. They come out on attack first. And the call
So
gets
you don't
a
want to
bit
do
hectic.
the entirety of Numbani? You just want to do like their attack?
I want to do their attack. I've got a 9-minute timestamp on this, and I've got a secondary timestamp that I'll put into our chat. But I think that it gets a little bit away from me here, even though I'm having fun with it. I think I'm having too much fun
Okay.
at one point. So I want to get your take on it. I want to get chat's take on it. I also want to use this to show people how you can insert your personality into a call, especially from the color side, because sometimes it's not as easy for people when they start out as a color caster to insert themselves into the role, because you're expected to be a highly analytical person and not really prone to fits of hype. And it's what Boop told me. He said, put yourself in there.
Right.
And that's something that, I pulled it way back when they said that I needed to work on polish, I needed to work on focus. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to get into. So I am at, let me get mine set right there too, because I'm weird.
Yeah, I mean, you could just watch on stream if you wanted as well.
Is there no delay?
No, it's just the delay of the internet, so it might be a couple of seconds, but
Okay, I'll just watch it on stream then.
I don't think it's enough to worry about.
Right. Okay.
That way we don't have to worry about having to deal with Watch Together, which has been giving me fits the last couple times we tried to use it.
Lord.
We're not trying
It's-
to. Yeah, 2 to 4 seconds.
Yeah, we should be good.
So, we'll give it a try. If it doesn't work, we can go back to Watch Together.
Or you can just stream it to me. You can just Discord share it to me. That also works. Okay.
Yeah, we can try that if you'd prefer that. It would have less delay on it.
It's
Or
up
we'll
to you.
see. We'll see how it affects
We'll see how it
stream.
So
I don't-
our focus here, you can just go whenever you're ready. So the focus here for myself and Belly is the DPS duo battle. The tanks are making lots of space, and you'll hear in the call what I pointed out. You'll hear it after this first team fight, and you're going to see the stalls coming through, and then just things being turned on a dime, and our hype level went almost to a 10 at certain points, and I think it got away from us a little bit. That's where I wanted to. You'll hear it as we go along.
All right. Well, let's just dive right in and take a look.
It is over there to give a little bit of extra flavor to what's going on there, and I mean, we're looking at Primal being popped by Rocket there. I don't know how much value he's going to get out of it. That is a quick
None.
assassination. Woo!
He's gonna get no value. He's just gonna get sent back to spawn. That's Vasta Gaming has lost their main tank. Ramen just looking in his backline. Abs going down for the 3rd time so early. Vasta Gaming are staggering in one by one. Project L is
I will say
playing this
it's a little difficult just jumping right into it. Because I feel like there's no... We're not getting the build.
Let me see.
So I think it'd be nice just to at least see the whole attack phase, just to kind of see how y'all lead into it, and what the feel of the game is up to this point.
9:38 would be a good point to start. Then it's kind of in the middle of my talking. I've got a cheesy face on.
Yeah, we can go back to a little bit of the cams, sure.
Project L, I think having that grab available
Perfect.
would also help them here in their attack, both offensively and defensively in their attack phase. So, I mean, you really want to see what they're going to bring out, because I didn't see much value gotten out of both divas. I think they use their self-destruct just to get back into the mech. Is the defense matrix really that important to what they're running? Or, can they swap off to Azaria? That's the question I need to see.
It is also kind of the question, indeed, like you can use the defense matrix to counter a Death Blossom, though not if you're EMP'd. So it is indeed a bit of a coin flip there on which you want to choose.
I mean, I guess the only other real benefit is, once you lose the mech, you still have Pilot Diva. So that,
And I'm assuming they were running Reaper Sombra on control.
They did run the Reaper Sombra on control.
Right. I don't know, that was just kind of a weird statement. Just because he's talking about, using it to block Death Blossom, but there's no Reaper in the battlefield.
Yes, I mean, we were expecting Vasta to come out with it, and they came out with a completely different setup, I think, to throw Project L off. And, I mean, it threw us off, too.
Well, I mean, I think that should probably be the focus, right? The fact that they're changing their game plan. Is it a set plan for Numbani? How would the Diva be effective against the current composition? If you're Project L, I mean, right off the top of my head, I'm thinking anti-nades is the big one. Catching those bio-nades would be the big value from Diva, just off the cuff, and maybe eating the dynamites as well from the Ash to prevent them from building as much ult charge.
You'll hear me steer it back around, though.
All right, let's keep going.
Using that for contesting a point, maybe. I mean, the Bunny Blaster, if you know how to shoot. I can't shoot. But if you can shoot, then, really, you can get the value out of it. But we're looking at Disperse here, bringing out the Echo.
Filthy tank players.
Very uncommon pick, though. I'm always excited to see the Echo coming in through. It's got such cool play potential with the ultimate ability right to ready, and also being able to just burn down people as soon as they hit the sub 50%, though. Abs hit a sub 0%, going down straight from Edis's gunfire, and Project L at the moment just like clockwork taking Vasta Gaming out one by one and picking up a quick point A.
Right, and we're seeing a different shift in the meta here. I mean, even within our series here, we're seeing the Ash and the Tracer coming out, and they absolutely wiped Vasta Gaming here. A couple of quick assassinations from...
Mind your use of here.
Mm-hmm.
You said here 3 times in that one sentence.
Cold and Kurama to really start the...
I do it too.
And the
It's stuff that I've been really trying to work on myself.
Edis, here we go. That's what I like to see, my friend. I like to see the damage boosted Mercy. Damage boosted Mercy.
Damage
Yeah.
are just so devastating, and just getting those one taps can just make or break. As we're talking about it, Kage, case in point. Tracer going down from Kurama, so now Vasta Gaming can take a good defensive hold here, as Project L is going to be waiting out for that respawn. That's not going to take too long. It is a Tracer, so being able to blink right back is going to be very good. Rocket just taking some space here and getting onto the point, but they want to keep holding this corner, indeed. Like, you want to be playing around this corner as the Nano comes in onto Sarna, being able to just go nice and aggressive, being able to also keep pushing in. Abs going down, which means you lose so much.
Don't be afraid to steal your time back. Like, that Belly was kind of talking over your time there to set up that fight, right? Because the engagement just broke out. And so he did kind of reset himself and get his timing back. I mean, I think he kind of realized that he needed to just cast right through it and get back into the team fight. But don't be afraid to interject even more. Because you can answer right back when he makes a statement. I mean, even if it's just a one or two, quick sentences, just to kind of help right the ship.
Even if you've got the Valkyrie up, you also lose on the Nano. And Project L is looking strong here in this matchup. It is their map pick, and you can see why.
Wow. But we're looking at, and Disperse has gone off the Echo. They already made him trade out. You've got him gone over to the Sombra now. And just that swap alone, already 65% to the EMP. I don't know if it might save them for this point 2 contest, but I mean, going to point 3, I think you're going to have the EMP available, ready to go, and that's going to be something that we're looking at. I mean, the ultimate economy is just coming up so big for Project L right now. This is what you like to see, my friend. This is going to be pure aggression coming out.
He's even trying to counter Edis indeed on the high ground. Rocket is just not getting the opportunity to. This is looking rough for Fast at the moment.
I would give more Y on the Sombra swap. You know what I mean? You know what? I liked where you were talking about, the point, and could it be the saving grace to help them stop progress on point B? But I don't know. May have delved more into why the Sombra? What was their thinking behind coming off the Echo and going on to the Sombra? What's the value that brings? I mean, you can talk about the EMP, and I guess you do a little bit. You do it to a point. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that last phrasing there at the end of point B?
I was trying to make sure that we were getting set up for the next fight. I felt a little rushed from Belly's pass.
It was a weird throw.
It was a weird throw, so I was doing the best I could with it.
You picked it up very well. I was thinking that too, because he left on Y. Like he left, his last word was Y. And it was, I don't know, it was a weird throw. And you picked it up really nicely.
So I did the best that I could with it. And I tried to get it back so we could get back on cycle.
Right.
Because going into this next fight, it's going to be fast and furious. And I'm looking at, where Vasta's sitting. They've already got the EMP. They've got, they have the potential of the EMP bomb. But, we've got Disperse coming back from spawn. We've got Nippa coming back from spawn. And SAR has been doing so much work on the Winston, getting forward, getting the space, and Cold really being an assist to the DPS, basically hanging SAR out to dry at points, which I go on to later in the series. But the peel and the assist, the DM to take the aggression that's coming in from Vasta, Cold really put in a dynamic performance on this diva. And it looks like sometimes they left SAR out to dry, but it's actually very well coordinated.
Ocean makes a good point in chat. I mean, it's messy dive fight where the tanks aren't truly engaging, so it can be tough to kind of discern when a team fight is starting and stopping. It seems to be a lot of just kind of ongoing poke and pressure. By the way, thank you for the follow, Solheim. Really appreciate that. All right. Let's keep it going. We'll keep an eye out for that diva like you were talking about.
The forward positioning coming here from Kurama, just harassing the back line. Ida's over there to give a little bit of extra flavor to what's going on there. And I mean, we're looking at Primal being popped by Rocket there. I don't know how much value he's going to get out of it. That is a quick assassination. Whoa!
He's going to get no value. He's just going to get sent back to spawn. That's Vasta Gaming has lost their main tank. Kurama just looking in this backline. Abs going down for the 3rd time so early. Vasta Gaming are staggering in one by one. Project L is playing this flawlessly. They're picking off these singular targets. The dive is coming through in such a classic way. EMP comes in on Project L, hits for Kurama, goes down. So you lose a bit of damage here for the fight, but this is what Vasta Gaming now desperately needs. Edis has put the bomb on the point. Now the counter bomb comes in, gets slapped and woken up. So there's still a chance, but Bob cannot make it to point. We've got less than 4 meters to go. Vasta Gaming has to put in everything to have a chance to do this. And Kage with a triple. Is that enough? Is that going to be the thing that Vasta needs to stabilize? I mean, they're going to need something, and that is a terrific opening. And with that, it does look like the team in blue are finally going to be stabilizing.
It'll be the first time, Belly. It'll be the first
Yeah.
time they've stabilized throughout the entire Streets phase. And going into point 3 here.
Roll of
My
Numbani,
goodness,
really.
Belly, that is some serious aggression coming out from Project L. I think they might be a little bit ticked off.
I don't know what happened with them that they practiced so much in Numbani, but it's worked. And
Now, I think there was a little bit of a missed opportunity there to set up, what we could be expecting for the next 3 minutes and 40 seconds. I mean, you do have good ults coming online. Well, I say good ults. You have some ults. Not super high impact, but you do have some ults available for Project L as they're coming back in. Maybe a missed opportunity to set up a win condition for this next fight. Yeah, it was one good hold, but it's going to be tough to keep that up. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
how has it worked? This is now a 4-minute time bank to get those final few meters. Project L can take this positioning honestly however they want. And once again with an opening pick from Edis, who's just been so good for Project L. And as Rocket as well gets slapped in the back line, Vasta Gaming is losing numbers, is losing staying power, and with this Diva Bomb, getting people off the point is going to be very easy. With Bob as well coming on in, Kurama just casually coming by, drive-by, Pulse Bomb, Diva Bomb, no chance for Vasta Gaming. This is a turnaround from the first control map.
I mean, I could hear Kurama singing, and a gangsta lean. That is a drive-by pulse bomb that I've ever seen. He's like, yo, I got this, fam. I'm good. Harassing Rocket around the entire map there of point 3. Just chasing him, having the blinks.
Good personality there.
Even with the mines available, he's just like, all right, I'll go ahead and do a quick little backwards blink, throw the pulse bomb in, and take out Disperse and Kage in one fell swoop.
Like I just heard like, hey, could you hold this for me? Thank you. This kind of came out. It's like, hey, I've got something for you. Here, hold this. Bye. We got the map now.
Boy, I mean, this is turnaround.
3-minute time bank, Billy. This is 3-minute time bank for a full push on Numbani. Like, that is nothing to scoff at.
What does Disperse bring out here on the attack then? Because I mean, even with the EMP, the damage was still there, and I think that was something that they were lacking in Nepal. They're coming up in spades now. I think the swap for Idas over to the Ashe and getting the damage produced from Winnie has to get at least an honorable mention for All-Star this map so far, giving lots of value to Idas's Viper. Also, Apples. The nades that were coming in were absolutely filthy. So we've got to give it up to the support for Project L. Let's see what Vasta Gaming can do coming out of the gate as they show us mirror matchup.
As now mirror matchup, the Echo is back. The Hero Select not going to be seeing that one for longer, and neither will we be seeing Edis getting taken out early. So a bit of a similar start as before. Res is going to be impossible. You've got a 65, you've got a window as Nipahawk is going to be going a bit more aggressive to dive into the backline. Getting this high ground control is very, very important. As we get a trade that Rez does not get denied. Sarah will be coming back for this fight, so there's still a chance of the recontest. And as Kurama comes in to take out Kage, Ida's actually coming back on the Echo, going, hold on, I can do this as well. Just picking up a few kills of their own. Project L hold on to point A, and
that was a weird fight.
there is still some time, but that
It
is
was an
something that
extremely
Vasta
weird
Gaming
fight.
probably also wanted to have, a quick point A grab.
Right, and I mean, they almost had it. They did get one.
All right, I almost want to go back and watch that one back. I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of setup here either. I might work on trying to lead the viewer a bit more, especially between fights.
I'm not sure where I could have interjected myself in the first fight. It seemed to just drag.
Well, no, it'd be in the pre. It'd be in the hero select. There was, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe went on a bit long about the pulse bomb. Like, it was a nice pulse bomb, but I think it took away from setting up the next fights. And then also I was thinking, an opportunity to talk about that diva again. So you start off in Numbani talking about is the diva the right choice, and then we're seeing the diva put to good use, the mobility being put to good use.
I should have tied it back in.
Could have tied the story back in with the diva. Yeah, for sure. Should have talked about Time Bank and why them being stopped for the first time is important. Yeah. Yep. Ocean, you got definitely some good thoughts in here. Hard resets are going to be a factor. The timing seems a little weird, but again, these fights are a little weird. So there's only so much you can do about it. You got to dance around it as best you can.
Progress on the capture, so that's nothing to scoff at. The Spurs putting in a lot of work on the trades, and I think they just decided to go ahead and bot themselves out and get as much ultimate charge as they could. Nothing of flavor up yet so far for Project L. I'm looking at Cole to get this self-destruct up first and see what they can do, maybe with a nano boost onto SAR.
How indeed getting the next approach. It's gonna be waiting whether the nano boost indeed does get invested or whether they even need it.
And I think one way to keep from getting lost in the sauce on these kind of engagements and these kind of attacks is focus on the attacker. What do the attackers need to do to break open the defense?
Right.
Because typically, it's a good fallback just for your story. Just focus on the attack. And I mean, if the defense is putting up a bulwark, if they're just holding strong, then it's what can Vasta do to break that open? What ults do they need to build up? What is their win condition? And identify a clean win condition for Vasta. And then we're watching out for that as viewers. Then we're looking at it going, okay, well, they've got to stay alive long enough to get that Nano online, and Nano, the Winston, who can then go in and get his primal built up. I mean, whatever you're feeling in the moment. Or maybe it's the damage boosted Ashe and getting the Ashe in a good position to find some opening picks to unlock the point. But identifying a win condition for the attacking team. Because right now, yeah, Project L is about to come up on a 6 stack of ults. And also the Edie's swap to the Echo was a huge swap. It was one that did not work for Vasta on their defense, but Edie's came in and almost had his duplicate ready after the first fight. Just showed back up and gets 3 kills with focusing beams.
Yep.
So that swap, I think, could have been highlighted a little more. But that's just all story points stuff. The timing through this has all been really nice.
As Nipperhawk just gets burnt down, no Diva mech available anymore. It's actually
just
going to be
as he demechs the Diva right there.
For a Mercy duplicate.
Dupes the Mercy.
Some extra healing in, getting a Valkyrie.
Extra res,
Valkyrie,
most importantly.
Because why not? Heal and damage boost at the same time.
You will hear me say that.
Having some fun with it at this point.
It may not become a factor.
In the backline doesn't find
if there's nobody to
Vasta
res, then there's no point mentioning that.
Well, Disperse has
I actually
the pulse
like
bomb.
the double Mercy there because you're going to have double res.
Yep.
I think that's a very smart one. I think that they knew that Kurama had the pulse.
Verizon knows how to build unlimited right. Start with America's most awarded network.
I'm on my phone
Refresh
24/7.
Then, for the first time ever, include Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
I don't know why we get ads on there.
Handmaid's Tale. I love Frozen.
Then give families.
It's fine. I'm just gonna mute through the ad. I'm not giving Verizon free advertising. Not on my channel. I don't know. I'm really just kidding. I don't. I'm just trying to save our viewers from having to watch an ad. There's already too many ads. If it was me, I'd be focusing on engagement, soft and hard, and how it dictates the pace of the play, and what composition does that benefit. That's what I'd be talking about for my personal style. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to watch the Ultimate Economy and see. I'm looking at the chess moves that they're making once they get these ultimates online, and you see that the duplicate that came out of Winnie there. I'm sorry, out of Edie's. They're choosing the Mercy because they knew that Disperse had to have the pulse bomb at that point, and the aggression that was coming up the stairway there. That's a small enclosed space. Any kind of a stick there is going to pick up at least one. Right. You've got 2 Mercies that have it available. So that's where I focus that. Because I do the eye dance, the hopping back and forth between the 2 lines as I'm watching the action. when I saw it come up, they knew, and that's why I believe Edie's went over to the Mercy at that point.
No, I thought that was a great call. I really liked that call, talking about how they were expecting a pulse bomb and wanted to make sure they had res. I thought that was a perfectly fine call. Nothing wrong with that in the slightest.
Sar, please. Like, that's karma right there.
I think we missed a little bit. Let's back up. Stupid
Vasta
ad.
Gaming probably also
Stupid
wanted
ad.
to have a quick point A grab.
Right, and I mean.
Okay,
they
so
always
this
had,
is that second
they did
fight
get
again.
1
Let's listen
point
to
of
this again.
permanent progress on the capture, so that's nothing to scoff at. The Spurs putting in a lot of work on the traits, and I think they just decided to go ahead and bot themselves out and get as much ultimate charge as they could.
And Disperse is
Nothing
almost
of
doubling
flavor
Kurama's
up yet
ult
so
charge as
far
well.
For Project L, I'm looking at Cole to get this self-destruct up first and see what they can do, maybe with a nano boost onto SAR.
How indeed getting the next approach. It's gonna be waiting whether the nano boost indeed does get invested or whether they even need it. As Nipperhawk just gets burnt down, no Diva mech available anymore. It's actually gonna be interesting enough.
Observer
Eda's
not doing you any favors
going
there.
for a Mercy duplicate. Getting some extra healing in, getting a Valkyrie. Double Valkyrie, because why not? Heal and damage boost at the same
Double
time.
damage boost.
Having some fun with it at this point. Pulse Bomb in the backline doesn't find anything. Vasta Gaming pushed back once again.
I actually like the double Mercy there because you're going to have double res. I think that's a very smart one. I think that they knew that Kurama had the Pulse Bomb, and unfortunately they did not, or I'm sorry, that Disperse had the Pulse Bomb. So I think that they were kind of waiting that out and see if it would be invested. It did get invested, it missed. And I like the play, but we're going to see A and J coming out onto the Brigida now, so there's going to be a little bit more of a brawly sense coming in here.
Well, you ain't gonna be brawling much if your whole team has just gone down. So, oh, Sar, please. Like, that's karma right there.
Sure.
Does get messed up. Does get messed up, but this is.
Wait,
Just watch your timing on that a little bit. Don't spend too much time talking about the past. And it's I mean, again, this is something I'm trying to work on as well. But you kind of shoehorned in the Brig swap, and the fight had already happened. At that point, I'm not even sure how to mention the Brig swap. Like, just once the nano boost went on to SAR, that fight was breaking out. That was the moment to throw. I don't think the extra sentence was needed. I mean, and if the Brig swap had been highlighted sooner, then sure. I mean, it's your choice as far as focus, and the focus was on what Edie's had done to help win the previous fight. But so it's kind of a twofold thing, where I might focus on the future a little bit more, just as try to keep setting up the next fights as much, if not more, than retelling and trying to analyze the previous fights. I mean, that balance is difficult for sure.
It's my knife's edge.
Yeah, and I don't envy colors on color casters in that regard. It's play-by-play. I just try to stay in the moment as much as possible. But even still, I'll catch myself we're calling things that are too late, and it's like after a certain, there's kind of a shelf life on it, and after a certain point, it's not even worth mentioning anymore.
That's what I'm finding too.
So on that one, I probably would have just chosen to just leave it. Once the nano went on to SAR, I would have just just finished your thought talking about the one thing and not trying to shoehorn in the Brig swap. And I know you're thinking, well, they made a swap that needs to be pointed out, but that's also something you can kind of stick in your pocket and bring it up at the next break, or when they have rally ready to go. You can say, oh, they made that swap after point A, and now that rally is going to play a big part in this next fight. Or something like that, where you can give the reason, or, now they have something, now they've been able to deal with Kurama throughout this because they have that little bit of, able to protect their Ana from the Tracer, or however you want to phrase it, highlight it.
Right.
But it caused a little bit of a late throw.
Diva Bomb comes on and doesn't find anything. Rocket trying to get that Primal Rage coming through, but Edis with so much damage on the Echo. We've got 1 minute and 10 seconds to go for Vasta Gaming to bring this point to a close.
I mean, I'm not sure what happened there from Nipahog. I'm not sure why they invested the bomb there. They were going off the side of the map from a boop coming out of a jump pack from SAR. I'm not sure what happened there, but this is good news if you are Project L because you have stabilized once again. You've got almost three ultimates ready to go, and not much other than a pulse bomb coming from Disperse to get you aggressed onto this front point.
Apples goes down, and so does Winnie. So Faster Gaming can now start to regress all the points, start to pick up that point percentage as they start cleaning up the members from Project L. There is a fair bit of time bank burnt down as the second tick finally gets captured here for Faster Gaming. 30 seconds on the clock, so getting a similar time bank to Project L for the full push is already a essentially impossible task for as far as I'm aware, but they will get this payload rolling.
Right, and I mean, you know, taking out both supports, I think that was they had a concerted focus to find both of the supports of Project L, and with the healing gone, I mean, there's no way that SAR and company can stay in the fight. They drop quickly, but we do have dueling DPS ultimates coming up available. I'm going to see where Edis goes with this next duplicate, as we saw the Mercy last time. Do you bring out the Brig and maybe get a quick rally and really stall what Faster Gaming is trying to do here in the Streets phase of New Line?
Oh, Edis is going to deny the opportunity.
Again, I think this is an area where focusing on the attackers would just kind of help clarify, like, where you're emphasizing, where you're directing the viewers. I would try to just focus on what the attackers need to do in that win condition, and kind of give the order of what to expect. You know, you can expect Rally to come out first. Now they made a swap over to Ball, so where's that Nano gonna go? You know, you'd anticipate the Nano going on to the Winston, but without the Winston, what's the plan for the Nano? And it's a tough call. Like, I want to say, you know, stick with talking about what you know. One of the things I was thinking about with Nipahog is it felt like there was a little bit of a linger on something where you weren't sure what happened. It's like I wouldn't even talk about it. Like, it's, if you didn't see what happened, I mean, like, I wouldn't bother even bringing it up. I mean, you could even just say, you know, somehow Nipahog ended up off the side, lost. I mean, and I like what you're saying. You know, they lost the self-destruct. But that's, like, that was the important part of that, right? They used the ultimate, got nothing.
So maybe a bit long-winded in that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. When that's time that you could be using to talk about what you do know. And talk about what for certain is going to have an impact in the upcoming engagement.
Okay.
To do that, Spurs with the pulse bomb in the backline though. But the Nano has come on out onto SAR, so that may have been too little too late, and with that, a counter pulse from Kurama is going to put the nail in the coffin of this approach. Faster Gaming back to spawn. Actually, no, they still want to recontest this. They've invested the bomb, who's taking a bit of a nap now on point. And as Edis indeed changes back out of the duplicate.
The Nano one of the D.Va was a weird choice, honestly.
Just coming and getting everyone off the point. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. And as this first takes the sleep dart from Apples, taking a bit of a nap, having a bit of a rough time. But Faster Gaming still moving forward with the D.Va bomb, getting into the back line.
There's no... That's why I was so impressed with it.
No, and I love that. I love that little... Those kind of interjections are awesome. You do those very well.
I feel like I feel like when I do it, I don't. It's just spur of the moment. It's
yeah, absolutely. Just go with what you're feeling.
All right.
No, I like it a lot. I like it a lot because it's just genuine excitement. I think it's great. And you do a good job of not, like, you even kind of threaded your own needle there. Just like where you interjected that small phrase was kind of right in between the points that Belly was making. So even the timing on it worked really well through your play-by-play. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Bubble, and both of the supports go down. Nipahog may be able to just bring this back for a...
Keeps sounds like he's saying nipple hog.
I know!
Every time I'm like, nipple hog?
No, I said, dude, you have got to pronounce that better in our first break. I put it in the chat. I'm like, Nippa, not nipple.
I know he's just talking. I mean, he's just talking fast, as play-by-plays do. But it's just, it's not even a criticism. It just makes me giggle.
Oh shit!
They are playing like a nipple. Slow and not as exciting as you want it to be. Oh my, we're redlining. I gotta turn down our volume a bit. We got excited. Oh, that's too funny.
I love you, Ocean.
Moving on.
Vasta Gaming opening up this fight entirely, taking out any sort of sustain for Project L as Disperse is just trying to win this Tracer battle, does not manage. Kurama just coming out clutch, and even with that double kill, Vasta Gaming is not managing to keep this payload moving.
And Kurama's on half HP right now. Oh my goodness, he's putting in so much work to massive detriment to his health, and still getting the frags. My goodness, Kurama, you are a beast right now. Somebody needs to put a sleep dart into him to cool him off, because he is laying into Vasta Gaming right now. That's a great stunt coming out from A&J though. Belly, this is going to be an interesting last fight.
Yeah, we are headed into sub 40 seconds of Vasta.
See, again, talking about the past more than the future. I think that's another opportunity to set up the last 35 seconds, because this is an important fight. I mean, it's one last chance to push through point B, or Vasta's gonna, lose this map. And so the setup and what was happening here, I think, was more important than Kurama's performance. Although, I mean, that could have been something like, Kurama's absolutely popping off. Vasta's got to put a stop to it, but here's how they might be able to do it. Here's what they've got to work with in this last fight if they want to shut down this Tracer who is absolutely on fire. I mean, you could phrase it like that where it still highlights the importance of Kurama's play while setting up the next fight.
That's one thing that I need to work on. That's one of my things that's on my my sticky notes.
Yeah.
Is the blending of.
Talk about the future. Guide your viewer to what to expect in the upcoming fight, what to look out for, what are the important things. Because obviously, I mean, Overwatch can just devolve into pure chaos in the middle of a team fight. And it can be difficult for a viewer, especially if it's just a casual viewer, to know what to focus on. And it's an opportunity for, especially for color casters, to really guide the eye and really point out these are the important things to look for. And I mean, and to keep that in mind and keep trying to set up the future as much, if not more, than explaining what happened in the past.
Okay.
Gaming are gonna have to be the clutch champ.
Your play-by-plays will thank you as well. Because that makes our job so much easier. As a play-by-play, I mean, if the color sets up what to look for, and then as play-by-play, which is something I've constantly worked on, is make sure you pick up those storylines. I mean, if the storyline is the switch to soldier, and this soldier could be the thing, then we're going to talk about that soldier come play-by-play. Whatever the soldier does, he's getting mentioned, if that's how the story was set up. And the soldier got no value, gets killed immediately. It was not the answer, fam. I mean, something.
Quit, Ocean.
What's Ocean? Is he talking about nipples still?
Yes.
Don't keep your eye on Nipple Hog. Oh, Nipple Hog.
Oh God.
You will live on in infamy, Nipple Hog.
We'll see him in EBC majors. We know that for a fact.
Nipple Hog. Just change the pronunciation on it entirely. Put the accent on the A or something. It's Nipahog. Nipahog. Oh, that's too funny.
Oh Lord.
All right, let's keep it going.
Champions to keep this payload rolling and have a chance to even get the full push. The Eva Bomb in the backline along with a Nano Winston. Abs goes
Drop
down.
that
We
right
have
on
a
Abs'
trade,
dome.
but is this enough? Once again, you lose that main healer. You lose on the Anno, who also had the Nano boost at the ready, which could have been your main recontestant as Cole gets res up and Sour does all of this damage and gets a few more players out. It's looking rough and nigh impossible for Vasta Gaming. Project L turning this around on a dime after that initial Nepal map and managing to just clear Vasta Gaming out so incredibly quickly. I have no idea where this came from, but it's looking like an entirely different team here on Nabani.
Absolutely. I mean, this is just
Belly's a bit of a mic hog. And that's, I mean, you're going to have to steal some time. Come on, you should be familiar with working with mic hogs. You've worked with me enough. See, I mean, maybe that's where, you know, I wasn't a very good trading partner because, you know, maybe you're just used to that. But nah, steal your time. Take your time back. I mean, he should have thrown a lot sooner. Like, once the Winston Primal, that fight was done.
really dominant performance coming out from them. Not really taking no for an answer here and just continuing to take point after point, fight after fight, and that's what you like to see. Project L evens up the series here 1-1 on the back of a massively inverted performance from what we saw on Nepal. The next name, Numbani, on our end list of maps, has now really just, I mean, they opened it up. Ida's with this damage boost, getting so much value. This is what you like to see. There's the filthy, there's the filthy pulse bomb that Kurama just decided to flick in there. So, my goodness, Belly, this is team-based fights at its best. We're seeing now a little bit of a shift here in the momentum. Project L riding the wave of momentum there. And
All in all, pretty darn good. You've improved so much.
You'll really see my level up at the next timestamp. I forgot to put it in our chat, by the way.
Hey, Ocean, you be nice. I know I'm a mic hog.
I need to find.
Yeah, it's a good smile. I got you. I paused you in a funny spot there, Billy.
Did you really?
Oh, it's not bad.
Oh God, that's horrible. So the next one that we'll go to is Anubis.
Okay.
Now I'm picking it, I know you hate to pick it up. I'm going to try and find it real quick.
It looks like Anubis is the next map. I'm about to say, should
Anubis-
Assault be third?
Yeah, Assault will be third. So I put it in the, because I was trying to think about time and stuff like that.
I'm in no hurry.
Okay.
We can watch Anubis, and then after that, I'll probably move on to our other VOD. We got one more VOD to do today.
Okay.
Which you're welcome to stick around and help me pick apart.
I love picking this stuff.
Oh yeah, I think it's good for all of us. I mean, I appreciate you letting us review this because I mean it helps me to improve. Hopefully, you know, Ocean and NSB and the other people watching and learn something as well. But I think this just helps so much. So I appreciate you letting us put you on the spot a little bit.
No, I value your guys' opinions. That's why I put it out here. All of you guys that are listening out there, this is like good stuff.
Hey, it works for me, Ocean. We're keeping you from being bored. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. I accept that.
It keeps my mind off of things. So let's go 2608.
That's fine. I'm at 2601. I'm just gonna play it.
Okay, go ahead and play it now.
On the other hand, I mean, there's a lot to
let me know when you get there.
unpack here. If you're
Or is it not
if you're Vasta
streaming through
Gaming,
Discord
I
anymore?
really like Disperse what he's bringing in form of the Tracer.
I didn't know
definitely
you
like
were
that over the Somber pick.
Yeah, I've had the Discord stream up the whole time.
Oh my God, I'm such a bot.
Kage, looking at the Ashe that we saw from there, getting a couple crucial picks, but the
I actually
rest
had
is
it
always
perfect, though.
available. So not enough consecutive.
It doesn't look like I'm
kills
dropping
coming
any
in
frames or
from
anything, so it's
from
working
the
fine.
Ashe player from Vasta Gaming. I also really liked A&J coming out on the Brigitte. I didn't see the rally come up, but I mean, I know that it came up a couple of times, really trying to keep the team up in the mid.
Damn it, Blizzard! Give us the option to decide who attacks first. The switching sides bullshit. That's all I got to say about that.
So there's a lot of variety and a lot of ability.
Seriously though, like, not only is it confusing as a caster at times, especially since we don't have the overlays in front of us when we're casting this stuff. And yeah, you learn the player names and all that, but it's confusing to the viewer. Like, suddenly they're switching colors and everything. Like, just make it to where you can select blue to attack first. That way, Vasta's always blue when you're watching the match back. I mean, just as a viewer, you know, Vasta's the blue team and Project L's the red team. I mean, to me, it'd be like like professional, like a traditional sports. Like if they just swapped jerseys at halftime, like you would just confuse the shit out of everybody. You know, I mean, like.
Shift and substitute players out from both teams. They are very willing to swap out and try to bring whatever their team wants to get out as far as aggression or defensively. We see the side swap here, Belly. We're seeing now for the first time, we're seeing Project L going on the defense first. And I once again, I like
I
going
apologize.
out with
I was a bit on a rant. I want to start at the beginning of this match
enough.
and listen to your setup.
Once he got really cranking, almost indestructible. The primal was coming up so fast. Apple's investing the nano boost into him quite a few times there, and I really liked seeing that come out from the support core. On the other hand, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. If you're Vasta Gaming, I really like Disperse what he's bringing in form of the Tracer. I definitely like.
Careful of that phrasing. You use that phrasing a lot, and it's not bad. Just make sure you're not overusing a lot to unpack here.
Do I use that a lot?
You do.
The Sombra pick that he had been
On my list,
picking at points. Kage, looking at the Ashe that we saw from there, getting a couple of crucial picks, but the rest was always available. So not enough consecutive kills coming in from the Ashe player from Vasta Gaming. I also really liked A&J coming out on the Brigitte. I didn't see the rally come up, but I mean, I know that it came up a couple of times, really trying to keep the team up in the mid-fight. So there's a lot of variety and a lot of ability to shift and substitute players out from both teams. They are very willing to swap out and try to bring whatever their team wants to get out as far as aggression or defensively. We see the side swap here, Belly. We're seeing now for the first time.
Again, make sure you're talking about the future. This opportunity to set up the defense. I mean, obviously, you don't want to start talking about Vasta until they get out of the gate.
right?
But you've got solid 45 seconds here to talk about Project L's composition, what that setup looks like on Temple of Anubis, what we could expect to see. I mean, I like how you were talking about nanoing the Winston. I mean, that is definitely your primary nano target in this composition. So, I mean, that's why are they running on a Mercy? I mean, and you don't necessarily have to answer all these things, but definitely think in your head. I mean, why are they running Tracer Ashe? Why are you running a Tracer on Anubis on defense? Would there be a better option? What's their thinking with it? What are their plans with it? And part of that you can tell just by their setup. You can kind of see where they're staging, where they're going to set up, and just kind of direct the viewer a little bit. And that's, I think that you create the establishing shot of the story. You can kind of set up, okay, here's what the defense looks like. What is Vasta going to have to do to break it? What would be the good tool to break this open? And then you focus on the attackers, and the whole rest of the story is how they did it or how they failed to get through that defense that you established in the first 45 seconds before the gates opened.
We're seeing Project L going on the defense first, and I once again, I like going out with the aggression and trying to put up a big time and maybe get to the other team's head. But defensively, they're going to know what kind of a benchmark.
State Farm Charity Stream.
Damn it, Lupo. I love your stream, but get off of mine.
Also, Ocean, we're not going to be talking about Belly's Kitchen.
Games returned.
That's too funny.
And you're cool too.
I mean, honestly, Ocean makes a good point. Like, your background needs to be clean. It does matter. And I realize it's kind of jokingly about Belly's Kitchen, but like having a clean background keeps.
And it was almost indeed a bit.
Sorry, it started again. I wanted to pause that real quick. But let me finish this thought, because having a clean background just keeps the focus on the caster, and you're not looking at a giant mess going on behind you. So that's just a good rule of thumb. You want to have a nice clean background. If you are going to show your kitchen or your bedroom or whatever, make sure it's picked up. Make sure it's not a mess, because it is distracting. All right, back into this thing. Dr. Lupo's off my screen. Let's get it going.
Bit of a preference of like, do you want to?
Let's back it up just a
Team wants
hair.
to get out as far as aggression or defensively. We see the side swap here, Belly. We're seeing now for the first time, we're seeing Project L going on the defense first, and I once again, I like going out with the aggression and trying to put up a big time and maybe get to the other team's head. But defensively, they're going to know what kind of a benchmark they're going to have to meet.
There's always indeed a bit of a preference of like, do you want to get a big time bank on your attack, or do you want to deny a big time bank for the enemy on your defense? Faster Gaming going back to the Nepal composition, having that Sombra with the Reaper to try and brawl this one out a bit, and Project L, I mean, they've done so great with the composition that they're running out of the Tracer Ash that I can't blame them for keeping that one up. They've been honestly destroying quite a bit on Numbani at the very least. So maybe this might be the matchup that they're looking for. Faster Gaming going for a bit of a wraparound.
Fight's breaking out. He doesn't need to be talking about the defensive composition now. You're 40 seconds into the team fight. I mean, into the round. I mean, the team fight's really just kind of starting to break out. But yeah, when you had some earlier action going on as the rotation was coming through from Vasta.
Right.
I think at that point, Billy just needs to let it go. But anyway. Just thoughts. It's not gospel.
Trying to deny the space of 4 Edis to just get that same amount of value as they got before. App dropping a bit low, Rocket also taking a bit of an anti, but as Apples goes down, this can be very detrimental. A second pick for Vasta Gaming, so Project L are probably going to have to pick a give up point A relatively quickly as this aggression keeps on coming in. Apples gets rezzed up, so you will have that support still available. As Kage does not make it to the mini health pack. Venus with a nice dynamite, however, it seems like the damage has been done, Billy.
I mean, they're not done yet. They're still trying to invest in this defense. That's a huge pulse bomb coming out of Karama. That might stabilize them here if they able to get back in touch on the point. But they're going to get just booped and bopped away. They're not going to be able to get feet on the point. And my goodness, this is stagger after stagger now, and there might be potential for a snowball coming in here. Should Sar and Cold get their abilities up fast?
There you go.
Absolutely. Faster Gaming now in a nice position.
I really kicked into another gear here on this map. That's why I really wanted to go to this map.
And I like that you started to talk about the snowball. I think you could have focused on that a bit more. Vasta's coming in with EMP and Sound Barrier, and they're going to get both of their tank ults, fairly early in the fight. They should, barring just a complete shutdown, they should get their tank ults like 10 seconds in.
Yep.
And so that's focusing that snowball. I think that was the right mentality. That was definitely the right area to focus, and I might have elaborated on that even a little more.
To get point.
But that's something Hex talked about with us. Way back in January when Ocean I did the reviews, like use that, and it was on Anubis, I believe, is one of the maps we looked at. And it may have been brought up in VOD reviews that we've done as well since. I can't remember, whether it was BHP or whoever, but that as soon as point A gets capped, like start talking about point B, and that's. And that was partly it was directed to me as a play-by-play. Like once you know that fight is done, like that, go ahead and throw. and start setting up point B. On Assault in particular, it's super important to stay focused on the future.
Be taken as well. They've got a good ultimate bang going for them too. So getting booped around by Primal Rage from Sar is never gonna be quite as fun. Disperse indeed are decloaking. Finding a 4-man EMP is the follow-up there.
Missed opportunity for hype from Belly.
Yep.
That's what the Boop has been trying to teach me, is to start building the hype before the hype moment happens. It's something I'm really trying to work on right now, and that was an opportunity for that, because the Observer caught it. Disperse is sitting there with EMP ready to go. That could be the fight winner right there. That needed to be the focus, in my opinion. And he could have started getting excited about it while there was that moment of tension. While Disperse was sitting there just looking for it, he could start to get hype about it. And then, boom, EMP hits. What are they going to do with it? Oh, A&J going down with Sound Barrier. That's unfortunate for them.
A&J has dropped down, so the Sound Barrier will not be available. As
There you go, Belly.
That is one attack dismembered. It's going to be Project L still holding on to this defense.
Yep, and I mean, it's just cleanup here. I mean, Kage taking down 2. Kurama putting on a little bit of a clinic here on the Tracer, getting a pulse bomb up again. And I think they're going to stabilize here. I mean, 4.5 minutes, though. That is a lot of time for them.
Yeah, for both these maps, Kurama's been the star for Project L. I think
Yes.
that definitely needs to be a story focus on. So if we're following our own rule set here, focusing on the attackers, what can Vasta do to shut down Kurama? What tools do they have to take out the Tracer? That needs to be the focus. I mean, you got to get a hack on him. There's got to be focus on him. You got to take down that Tracer if you have any hope of winning.
Them to have to defend against what they're
Ooh,
seeing here.
nice gobble up.
That's an Eaton pulse bomb from Nippa. Oh boy.
And the punishment immediately after that, Kurama going down, so that is the green light. That is the...
I mean, boom, right? I mean, can you... Like, it just played out. The storyline just played out, right? As I was talking about it. And it was Kurama overextending and trying to throw a greedy pulse bomb.
Go sign for Vasta Gaming to come in. They've got such a big ultimate bang. Kage with a double also gets the DMAC on cold. There's gonna be one tick net, not even getting picked up because we still have the recontest. That is now where the first tick comes in. There is still an attempt at recontest. We got Kurama on the Tracer coming back on point. Second tick has been given up. Vasta Gaming trying to just find the target, trying to clear them out, getting those target calls, getting those players together. But now the contest can't be coming in. Edis drops, Cole goes down as well. Now the Diva Bomb gets invested on point. The Pulse Bomb from Kurama once again takes that main tech out of the way. But a huge hack onto Winnie denies the res. This might be all she wrote for this Anubis here. They really need to start focus firing these final players down because this recontest on the defense can be so long. You can have such a massive recontest, and with this bomb on point as well, this person's gonna put in another EMP because why not? We've got some extra to spare. And as this person's trying to just get into the sidelines, that final tick percentage is so close from being captured, but they're just not managing to get any extra percentage going, Billy. Even if they manage to get a few extra kills, they still need to get the focus fired out.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
He finally ran out of breath.
And I hopped on it.
Oh, I was waiting for it because you can feel him starting to fade a couple sentences earlier. And, that just kind of kept going. I mean, shit, we've had this exact conversation. As soon as Primal was popped, he should have thrown. I mean, even if just from one sentence, like, you know, Primal is going to buy more time, may even allow time for reinforcements to get back. And boom. And then you can come in and say, well, Vasta's got this Death Blossom coming up. It might be, whatever you want to fucking talk about.
Yep.
And just one sentence, and then Belly could have picked it up with a fresh set of lungs and finished off the fight.
I know he's a musician, but good lord.
I see myself in this cast. That's what's so funny. It's like, oh yeah, I used to make those mistakes on a regular. And I definitely see myself in Belly's casting there a little bit as far as the timing.
and that's going to go ahead and clear the point. They took a minute and a half off the clock once they first started to get the capture progress going. So, I mean, that's kind of a win from Project L, but they got absolutely bullied and rushed down from the Rushdown comp coming out of Vasta Gaming, proving that speed and just brute up in your face brawl will take care of your mobility all day long. Winnie not being able to keep the team up on the Lucio. Apples, there was a lot of good play coming out of them.
The Observer.
I'm just not sure if we got the same value that Abs and A and J got on the Ana and Lucio. It was just a difference of supports right there. Take out the tanks, take out the DPS heroes. Really, it was a support battle, and the support battle was absolutely won by Moira and Lucio of Vasta Gaming.
I mean,
And that might be something to just go back and kind of study, because that is, with the Somber Reaper rushdown that we've seen a lot of here lately, that they're running Lucio Moira. Yeah, you don't need the Mercy to damage boost anybody, right? Because you don't have the Ashe. That's like the sole purpose of the Ashe is essentially just a damage boost. I'm sorry, the sole purpose of the Mercy is a damage boost that Ashe. And then it puts a lot of healing on your Ana. With Lucio Moira, they could follow the dive, they could stay mobile, throw the Coalescence in just to keep the rushdown going. So that is a pretty standard composition that we've been seeing, is what Vasta's showing us right now. And Project L switching to something very similar, but the Tracer instead of the Sombra.
There's indeed now.
Interesting.
I get like. Why does this keep shifting so much? Like first map is very much Vasta being in control. Second map, Project L just turns it around, and now we're here. We get a 3-minute time bank for the Temple of Anubis.
You
attack.
tell us,
So,
Belly. Why does it keep
we got
shifting
a lot
so
of
much?
shifts coming in here.
Well, I mean, look at the dimensions and the map geometry of Anubis.
Mhm.
I mean, it looks big, right? But actually, it's a lot of confined spaces. And
Yes.
Disperse and Kage, I mean, they're going to absolutely feast on Project L if they don't get the same kind of
Nice.
value coming out.
Great
from
answer.
Small spaces, Hellfire shotguns, and hacking. I mean, they just choose who they want to go after.
Interestingly enough, we've got the Tracer from Kurama as opposed to the Sombra, so you're going to be losing out on that EMP and those hacks. Vasta Gaming is going to take a bit of an aggressive defense, is trying to get some damage in already. Kurama coming in from the side, so you get a two-pronged attack here as the pincer movement is attempted. Kurama dropping quite low, does manage to get healed up there. Project L starts setting up on point. We've got Kage just teleporting into their own backline, essentially. Sarah getting hacked out, so there might be some attempt at follow-up, that nobody is really there to do so. First stick is still picking up, and we're just kind of poking away at this point, really.
Yeah, and I like what Cold is doing here, kind of trying to shift the eye level of Vasta, getting them some high ground contest. But I mean, there goes the first kill. That is a hack that you hate to see. That's going to be the DMET coming through. That's going to be a wipe here pretty quickly for Vasta Gaming. It's going to be back to the drawing board for Project L. I mean, and the Ultimate Economy. Disperse already has an EMP. Oh my word, that's going to be something that they're going to have to deal with. And Kurama, maybe getting the pulse bomb on.
That was
in the
actually a nice
animation,
carry.
That might be a way to disperse it.
Not that you carried the casting, but you carried over through to where you should have been. So y'all, the timing clearly got off through that, and you just carried right over from what should have probably been play-by-play space into your own color space and kept it going until this next fight. That was actually a great timing reset. Way to recognize.
No pun
Oh,
intended.
that is painful, losing Anj on this early fight. Now Project L indeed immediately go again. There's no SAM barrier that you can take this fight. However, EMP comes in, finds 5. Is there a follow-up? Are there be kills coming through from that? I'm not seeing any, so this still might be lost for Vasta Gaming here on point A, as they also lose Abs. You lose this whole healing bank, and Project L will start picking up point A and can make their move onto point B.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be a great time bank for them to start moving in. They're 5:05 on the clock. A little bit less than what Vasta Gaming had, but they have a lot more tools in the basket to start this aggression. This could be a snowball.
He's got a Death Blossom that actually gets hacked out. Edis does not get anything for the Death Blossom. Now, there does Nipplehawk for the bomb, however, does give up a bit of space. As Cold get hacked, you can indeed get that Death Blossom out. That takes out Winnie. Was a nice boot, but it wasn't enough. So with this, Vasta Gaming looking to hold onto this point, trying to get that time bank at the very least to an equal point. compared to Project L.
Right. And
I would say when talking about the snowball, you can be a little bit more implicit, to steal a word from BHP. And just that you don't actually have to use the word snowball every time.
Okay.
It's going to be implied, that your focus is in the right area, but you do use it on both attacks.
the next contest that's going to be coming.
I mean, if you're talking about Project L coming in with ultimates, then I mean, you can talk about the snowball without actually using the word.
Okay.
Again, Disperse is going to have another EMP, so they're going to have to contend with that again. They're just getting owned by the Somber Reaper composition. They're not doing anything to deal with Disperse or Kage when it's in the mid fight. I think that you need to bring something a little bit with a CC ability to take Disperse and Kage out of their comfort zone.
Disperse once again up to an EMP. He's going to use it immediately. 5 people hit, but Edis picks up 2 kills. Abs has gone down. So once again, this Mora pick is so massive in these fights. The focus fire from Project L has been so good. So now we are at the point with a few players down for Vasta Gaming that it's going to be a matter of recontesting. It's going to be a matter of just trying to stagger back onto point. You need to do this one by one. You need to do this controlled with proper communication. The Sam Barrett comes in, gives you that extra staying power, and as now the re-engage comes on through, Kage with a nice kill onto Apples could be enough that Vasta Gaming needs to keep that sustain going. One tick has been given up. The second will actually be following pretty rapidly as the kills are very much going in favor of Project L. Even Karama just kind of spawn camping here.
Yeah, I was like, Karama's single-handedly holding that right
Second
door.
tick has been given up. It's going to be questioned, will that final tick be coming on through sooner rather than later? This Death Blossom making sure that nobody can really stay around. I'm just flying around the skies, but Vasta Gaming doing amazing at this recontest, getting down to 3 minutes. Nepahog getting DMAC. The focus fire is massive, but eventually you're just not going to get the same amount.
Oh, Nipplehog. Well, now I instantly want a burger.
Truth. Or some onion rings.
Right? Yeah, Ocean made a comment that regarding the term snowball, depending on your audience, I feel like the regular old casual Overwatch player always uses it. Yeah.
But I need to have more variance in how I'm describing it. I totally got what Bull Skunk was saying there. I could have just said the ultimate bank is clearly in Project L's.
And talk about what
favor.
ultimates, that the Death Blossom could be huge, but it's going to have to avoid the defense matrix and get in there. How is he going to use it? Something to direct your eye on that.
You'll hear me address those things coming up in the overtime. I will say that. It takes me a while to get there sometimes, but I do get there.
Right. Well, no, part of this is just learning to be more succinct
Yes.
and cutting out
That's
cutting
always
out
been
the unnecessary stuff.
the fluff. Yes,
Cutting out the
yes.
fluff. Minimize the fluff.
I've really gotten better at this, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Dude, leaps and bounds.
I've gotten better at cutting the fluff out. I really have.
One thing on the play-by-play I feel like there's a lot of the passive words. I feel like Belly could certainly be using more active terminology,
Mm-hmm.
and it would just strengthen it. It would just strengthen the vocabulary and strengthen the way his casting comes across. So just
I need to use the word invest more.
see, and that's one I feel like I overuse. I have to avoid saying it too much.
See, I don't use it enough.
And that's something, I mean, a lot of the Owlcasters will use invest a lot. And, I mean, and they do it very well, clearly. I mean,
Yes.
but yeah, I mean, it's a good term because you are investing in that fight. Especially if it's something that's thrown in late. If it's something where it's, the shock mentality of all fights are winnable. A team is down 2 players and then they still choose to invest Coalescence. It has a little bit more strength there because they are choosing to continue to put resources into that fight despite being in that 5% win chance of being down
Right.
2 people.
Right.
They finally dealt with Disperse on the Sombra. That was the biggest win condition
I like
for
that a
them
lot.
to get a reasonable, comparable time to what Vast put out there. 11 seconds. That is
Circling
something
it
that
back
you
around
can
to your
work
previous
with
story
if you are
point.
Project
I like
L.
that a
11
lot.
seconds is not much difference in time. So, my goodness. I think a little bit of a shift here might be coming in from Project L. I think they may be starting to realize that if you focus down what Kage and Disperse are doing, keeping good tracks on them. Also, Kurama's tracking throughout that last part of the contest, absolutely nuts, coming out from the Tracer, and I loved seeing it.
His Tracer is nuts.
Boy.
His Tracer is fun to watch.
I'd love to see.
Okay. So 2 minutes. 2 minutes is a really important timestamp in any Overwatch. What does 2 minutes get you
On this map,
in general?
I mean, it's final fights. I mean, you're going to get a win. You're going to get a result one way or another, whether it be win, lose, or draw.
Correct.
Stakes are set at
But
that
there's something very important about the 2 minute mark in Overwatch, and it's your ability to build ultimates. So the fact that both teams have 2 minutes on the clock is actually a pretty important factor and something worth mentioning. And it's something to keep an eye on in the time. Doesn't matter the map type, doesn't matter where you are. You have that time to build up another round of ultimates. So with excuse me. So with 2 minutes on the clock here for both teams will get a chance to build an ult bank and to utilize them or to try to throw them on point A or whatever. So I think it's just something that could be worth mentioning. If you only have 1 minute apiece, then neither team, you're going to have to rush to get ults up. You've got to put in a heck of a performance and get a lot of value if you're going to get an ultimate in 60 seconds.
Right.
But with 2 minutes, you can kind of plan around it. You can kind of plan, okay, we're going to play to get these ultimates and then go in and throw the ult bank at the defense. So just something to keep in mind. That 2 minute mark is really important.
See Edas bring out either a Sombra of their own, maybe bringing out something that's unexpected, maybe the Ashe, or a Widow,
All right.
trying to get a one-off pick.
Sorry, chat, I didn't have the end game
Really
up.
change
It was
the
just
backside
flying
of
around in
Basket
between
game
maps.
and
The action
find,
hadn't
hey,
started yet.
I can play other heroes, so I don't have to do the Mirror Reaper matchup with you. So, 2 minutes on the clock. We've got some work to be done here between both teams to see who's going to take the win here, or if we're going to go to a draw here in Anubis.
That is the question. So now indeed heading into the third round. Project L going for their approach. As you mentioned, 2 minutes to go. That's all the time that they have to try and get that second point especially. Like first point
Interesting
tends to
rotation.
potentially be a bit easier to pick up. That second point becomes a bit more difficult. L indeed going fairly aggressive. This high ground is a bit less common to just really take the defense on now with the dive, but Vasta taking a very good approach here from their own defensive standpoint, just taking the position on the point. However, Kage going down. That is now where the aggression can come in, and where Vasta Gaming are going to be looking a bit rough. Both of the DPS have gone down. It is just running through Vasta Gaming at this point and getting the clear up.
I mean, that's just pure aggression. I mean, we're looking at Edas following up what Cold is doing in the Diva right now and getting so much value out of it. And, I mean, this is going to be just cleanup here, and that's going to be a full take here on the first point of Anubis in the overtime. Minute and a half left to go, and you've got almost 4 ultimates ready to go. 5 from the side of Project L. This could be a snowball. You've got to watch out for this first skin.
Ramanade once again in the backhand takes out the translocator, so now at the very least knows if that pulse bomb sticks onto this burst, that is one Sombra not being able to get out. Diva bomb to get the remake. Kurama goes down in the backline, so Project L has to take a bit of a back foot here.
Absolutely. Yep, here comes the Death Blossom coming in once again. Oh, he didn't get enough out of it.
didn't get anything out of it. Honestly, Edis trying. The Sar did get abs, which is massive, and as Ange also drops, that's an EMP that finds 4. Winnie going aggressive with the Sound Barrier as well, and as the members for Vasta Gaming drop, this is looking rough. We've got 30 seconds to go, and it might very well be that is all the Project L needs to pick up this point. Another player down. Vasta Gaming is still bleeding their team members onto the point. The Spurs with a nice rocket punch, though, gets Kurama. However, gets taken out as well. It's just one member after the other. Project L is doing massively on the target focus here, as Kage is just trying to follow up here. But that's going to be a deadlock, and Edis with 2 is looking for the final ones. The third comes on through as well. This Spurs is not going to be able to do any much more. Over time, Wick is going to be burning down. Ange is just trying to keep this Wick burning and keep this point from getting full cap, but it does not look like that will be the case. The respawn timer will start to increase the longer Project L is onto this point. Even if the Spurs comes back with a quick pick onto Edis, this looks like it's all set and done for this push here.
I mean, we are just looking at the cleanup phase right now, but they are kind of starting to flip it around. Sar taking Nipahog's mech out of hand, but Sar on this Winston right now, getting huge value out of that. He's turning the fight again.
Vasta Gaming, both of the teams don't want to give up. Vasta Gaming still picking up kills. The pulse bomb comes through. Ange goes down, but there's only just one member. Edis has done it before. Will not be able to do this anymore. Vasta Gaming, they hold second point.
I don't know what to think right now. That's so much work going in. My goodness. Oh, 98%. They almost got the double full cap. That's a hell of a benchmark to be meeting if you are Vasta.
I really do love you get the little excitement calls, like when they play a place going. What I'm thinking of there was when Edis dropped the Death Blossom. That was cool. That was cool.
Because he hadn't landed one.
Right.
That's why I literally jumped out of my chair. He's like, yeah, he finally got one.
No, it's good. Keep those going. They add so much. I really like them. And nothing else really to say about that, I don't think, any more than I've already said. You use the word snowball again in between. Staying active, making sure, as opposed to will be capping the point, Project L captures first point. That kind of stuff. Making sure you're staying active in your phrasing. There's a dog here on my microphone. Sorry, it was distracting me.
They gave you the belly. Weirdo. Edis finally got a Death Blossom that went off and actually got something.
That is true. Oh my lord, that's 98.1%. I know my hair is thin, but even that amount of percentage that was left is even thinner than my hair. That's my lord.
I mean, my bald head is skin tight right now, and I mean, it's probably that.
Belly does have tons of personality. That's what he is super likable and has just so much personality. I mean, you do as well, obviously.
We do play well together.
Yeah. And it's you're both just clearly enjoying the match, and that's always such an amazing thing. That joy certainly comes across, and I think it's a very important aspect of casting. I think it's a really very important aspect of casting. If you're not loving what you're doing, then why are you there?
Yep.
And not all the matches are going to be bangers. Not all the matches are going to have high level gameplay. Some of them are a little lackluster. But I mean, just the joy of doing what you love. I mean, that joy comes across. I think that's so important. Right. Because it makes others like it. It makes others feel the same way, and it creates a very infectious thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the respawn advantage there. That's the only reason why that Project L did not take that in the end. It's just the difference in respawns. Now, when conditions set for both sides, will Project L be able to hold off the aggression coming in with an extra 11 seconds for Vasta Gaming? Or will Vasta Gaming be able to steamroll over Project L and get a full cap here? And, I mean, based off what we saw there, it's Kurama versus Disperse. I think that's the major battle that we need to really concentrate on here. will Kurama be able to harass and locate that translocator of Disperse and really deny the escapability of the Sombra?
Kurama indeed going a bit aggressive, already getting a bit of damage in 25% to that first pulse bomb is off of just getting out of spawn. That comes on through. Disperse is getting taken out here, so that is one attack already looking rough here. Rocket trying to just get out, will not manage. Fast Gaming back to spawn after their first approach.
Look at Winnie though. Winnie showing up in the biggest way right now, getting not only the assist but also getting some kills himself, and absolutely having a fun time of it. Oh, look at that! They already spotted out Disperse.
Nipperhog also goes down. The stagger on that is massive, and with just barely over 2-minute time back, those staggers do not need to happen.
Right, and I mean Nipperhog, they basically let him get back into his into the mech, and that's perfectly fine if you are if you're Project L, because that's just more time wasting. And I mean, we're looking at Rocket and Nipperhog. I mean, Abs is going to have his coalescence to start the aggression and get their team on the point. But
Did they? I thought they got that kill.
Which kill?
Onto the baby diva.
No.
You sure?
Actually got back into it. If I missed it, I missed it.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
They got that kill.
Okay.
Just try to stay accurate. I mean, dude, it happens. It happens to me all the time.
2-minute time back, those staggers do not need to happen.
right, and I mean Nipperhog, they basically let him get back into his into the mech, and that's perfectly fine if you are if you're Project L, because that's just more time wasting. And I mean, we're looking at Rocket and Nipperhog. I mean, Abs is going to have his coalescence to start the aggression and get their team on the point, but I don't know how much they're going to have in the bank to really stop the aggression.
There's 1 minute. Kurama look.
Woo! That was a good place to pause. And this is actually what I was thinking. Is again talking about the future. I mean, I think it's just one thing to take away from this, because what I was seeing there is Vasta going into a small room and Kurama's sitting back with a pulse bomb. Like, I was just like, oh, this is just going to be dangerous. I mean, you can just kind of see the storm clouds forming, you know? I mean, and that, I think that was a missed opportunity to set up this next fight, because it's exactly what he does. I mean, that's, now whether, I mean, it looks like he sticks the Winston, and Abs might be able to fade out of that. This is kind of those, the moments before a disaster strike or whatever.
Perfectly cut screenshots.
Oh, is at that moment that they knew they fucked up. But but seriously though, there was an opportunity to set up this happening. Try to stay focused on the future, because I think you'll naturally analyze and recap things. I mean, you have no problem with that, and your analysis is damn good. But it's the setups that I think that can be peppered in there would just plus the casting that much more. Would really help drive home those storylines. And one of the storylines of this has been Kurama's performance. Kurama has had an outstanding Tracer performance in the 2 maps that we've watched. So it would just further build on that story. I mean, which even just one sentence of, oh, now Vasta Game is going to a small room, Kurama lurking with the pulse bomb. Like, that's all it would take. I mean, you can even throw right there. And then let's see what happens.
It's gonna stick that onto Rocket.
Yeah,
no
okay,
kills
so
off of that.
The supports are able to get out of the way.
Can't be very good.
Rocket's gonna get healed.
Also get this death blast.
Oh, he does not get healed. Coalescence doesn't come out in time.
That opening, Rocket has gone down, but there's still a Diva with the defense matrix. Sam Barrett comes on through from Anj. So there is still the aggression attempted. Edis goes down. This is the opening that Vasta Gaming need to bring this first point at the very least too close to even have a chance to try and get point B. We've got an equal fight still going on. Project L moving back 2 points as Vasta Gaming go in with the aggression. Sour dropping so cold. Cold is dropping so low. Cold dropping even lower. Spurs has the EMP, does not want to use it, wants to keep that for the second point. You want to keep as many tools as you got to keep to get the second point captured, and they're doing so well at keeping their resources.
Yep, and I mean, that was a good soft reset coming out of Project L. However, they just didn't have enough stay power to really
That was
deny
a good
what
throw
was
from
going on.
Belly.
They get him into overtime though, so they're only going to have 30 seconds for this push. However, EMP Bomb, EMP Death Blossom, Rockets, Primal Rage, they have all the tools necessary. Winnie's going to have one massive sound barrier and some hope and a prayer coming out.
Beautiful.
At this point is EMP
I like
and
that one.
throwing everything. The Spurs does get
Beautiful setup.
scattered out. 3 people hit by the EMP death
comes
bomb.
the EMP
in.
death blossom.
Kurama goes
Yep.
down. Sound barrier as well from Vasta Gaming, getting that extra aggression. That's the second kill. Edis once again with the death blossom finds Abs. That is massive. You lose out on the coalescence. You lose out on a lot of sustain. So once again, we're looking at that respawn advantage. Edis drops low, goes down. Both of the Reapers have gotten taken out. Kurama coming in for the potential clutch once more, trying to keep this fight going. And as the kill feed is looking very, very blue, the Diva Bomb comes in on point. Kurama goes down. Is that enough? Vasta Gaming need to get people on the point. They need to get to the 98.1%. Abs goes down again.
Thank you, Abs.
lose that Mora. You do not need to lose that Mora. Project L managed to push Vasta off the point and get a...
Did not like that camera angle. That's okay. Well, there's a bunch of pillars in the way. Like, come on. Put the camera in the corner looking down over the point. I mean, you can kind of rotate it, or you can go to the back corner if you're wanting to see the attackers make their way back onto the objective. You're wanting to see if there's any stragglers coming through. But, yeah, sitting back and looking where there's a bunch of pillars in your way is not my favorite camera angle. But, hey, we're not here to talk about obs. We're here to talk about casting. And the transition between point A and point B on that final attack, that was awesome.
I felt good.
Yeah, no, that was really good. You set up the ultimates that were coming out. You set up the combos, the combo potentials that to look out for, and set up the win condition from the defense. And with a little bit of comedy, you know, he's gonna have to have one hell of a sound barrier and and a hope and a prayer or whatever it was. Like that was great. That was really good.
second win on the board.
I, Amanda Green,
Oh my lord.
with this contract.
Oh, it's okay. I think we're done with that VOD. Timing couldn't have been better on that ad. No more ad. No more ads. Bro, he kind of just said, nah, I'm going to feed. All right.
I need to go wake up the other half.
That's fine. Want to take a quick break and refill my water and stuff anyway. And then we do have a second VOD from Spacey that we'll take a look at a map out of that. Don't anticipate taking as much time on that one just because I think we'll just do one map instead of two. Since I had Billy here, I wanted to get through as much as we could with Billy. So, yay! But we'll take 5. And hopefully I'll see you on the other side. All right, and we're back. So now we're going to take a look at, it's actually another cast from the EMEA tournament from EBC. This is going to be Spacey on play-by-play with Mana Class doing color.
Okay. I'm here and present.
Very good. Very good. Is my screen share still doing its thing?
Yep. Yep.
Very good. All right. So we're taking a look at King's Row here. Looks like we have Russian Studio versus Modern Renegades. I don't know if you can read that. I cannot.
It's aggressive.
Aggressive Studio?
Yep.
Okay. So Aggressive Studio versus Modern Renegades. Modern Renegades are up 1-0, as y'all can see. And we're headed to King's Row. So let's give this one a look-see. What do you got for us, Spacey? By the way, thank you to Spacey for submitting this. I know he's EU and probably asleep right now. But do appreciate it. Oh, hopefully I unmuted him.
Blizzard World, Numbani. There's plenty of maps to choose from. Even Eichenwald.
No, I think Classy got a haircut.
We spoke about it from our first series. This sort of hyper-aggressive dive definitely favors the maps like Hollywood. But nevertheless, I've just heard in my ears it's going to be King's Row. So as
Why not?
Classy was saying, it's common, don't get me wrong, but we're all for it. It's a good map.
Yeah, it's a great map, and of course, you saw it yesterday in the talent showdown where they had to pick the map that they're actually going to play on, and of course, it was once again a resounding King's Row with a lot of percentage there. But with this dive meta that we've been seeing, how much can you actually do with that on King's Row? And that's a very fair question to ask. And most of the time, the answer would be, well, you can still play it, but you could also play more alternative playstyles. You could go for a Reinhardt, for a Roadhog, for more bursty DPS heroes from range, whether it's brawl, whether it's range, that's really up to really play on attack or defense.
Damn it! Hey, what? Spacebar muted?
So we're gonna see what.
Spacebar is supposed to pause. It gets on my nerves now when the roles aren't in order. Like it's just become a weird little pet peeve.
Same.
Which like, come on! Like it doesn't. It just comes off as lazy, I think. I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't matter to other reasons. Just other regions. This is the Nordic region. But
I think that it's a language barrier here, because this is actually Eastern Division. They didn't change it.
Okay.
This is Russian. This is Russian and Lithuanian team respectively. The Russian team is in blue. The Lithuanian team is in the red.
okay.
There was a I saw in the chat that they were having a hard time communicating.
Heard. So at one point they were just like, never mind. Like let's just play.
Yep.
so
exactly
it wasn't
what
for
they
lack
did.
of trying. It was just a
No.
language barrier. Yeah.
I mean, look at the Reaper from Aggressive. I mean, that's BYINICHOG.
Yeah, you got me, man. I mean, like, I hope they had pronunciations for some of these names.
I think it was like Binyahag. I think that's what they ended up coming up with.
Well, let's get into it. There's a cool little bit from Classic. They're talking about how dive isn't really all that viable on King's Row, and sure enough, both teams come out with Ryan Zarya.
Receive walks out with, and it's gonna be what we've been seeing in the last series when it comes to supports and DPS. The tanks are gonna be Svadon and Zenya Genius on that Zarya Reinhardt, and I love seeing that. I think King's Row is the one map where you can really sort of still run that because you don't have that much space to walk around the shield and do damage. And it's gonna be
EBC's on live
for Modern
servers, right?
Renegades to find the damage here.
This is from 2 days ago, so we would be in the current patch. I'm pretty confident EBC's on live servers.
Oh, you can see me in the chat there too.
Yeah, I saw you in chat.
I forgot that I was here.
Anyway, I was just kind of curious what meta this was. I mean, I don't know why I would think it would be anything else. It has to be live servers.
Yeah, it's live. It's live fetch.
They're not on the whatever the other server is.
Right.
The pro server.
Mm-mm.
here if this Brawl just comes.
Yeah, they're not on 1.51.
storming at them.
To say the least, nobody's gonna be wanting a Reaper Sombra Ryan Zoe just blaring down and sprinting at your face full speed, especially when you're not gonna speed boost yourself to really either hyper aggressively attack them or back up. But a great biotic grenade from Reboot. I believe that came from the spawn of all places. Nice little management of his play there, and Sparron taken down, deleted, snapped like a twig. There's nothing you can do there, and a fire strike to get the kill. Leopan and coming on in this fray. Modern Renegades certainly look like they're going to be able to take the point here.
Yeah, they look dominant straight from the get-go, as we sort of saw on Busan. And
Here. Like, it's everybody does it. Like, we've got to get here out of our vocabulary.
it's only continuing here. See the swap off some aggressive.
They both just did it.
Straight away coming through, already going for the Hanzo now.
It's true.
Going Bunny Hawk, they want to do more damage. Apparently, damage 2k going over to the Doomfist. It's gonna be a hoot to see what happens there. You have to hit those punches though. Damage 2k cannot burst someone down. Then being on the Doomfist essentially is pointless. You can't just keep knocking the tanks around and hoping that gets all the value you need. You need to find some value with that DPS.
Evermore already having his ultimate. Willy combo with Rayan's Graviton Surge. I believe Rayan's actually had a little bit of a roll swap. He was playing support the first match, but now he's on the Zarya. Graviton Surge coming on out. Dragon goes on in. Nothing from the ultimates itself, but the kills are there for Modern Renegades. They're getting these kills. And they're able to get these valuable kills. Don't get me wrong, but not before Bunny Hawk can get a couple of his own, but it's not.
Yeah, that felt a little disjointed. I didn't mind. It was a kind of a late pickup, and I didn't mind that. I think I kind of like Spacey's pacing, where it's kind of got this it's got this kind of slow kind of drawl to it. And I mean, I kind of like it, especially if he manages to ramp it up as the fight goes on. But the Colorcaster Classy was talking about the DPS, and then Spacey immediately picks up and starts talking about the tanks. And then there's like a Grav Dragons that come through that no one even bothered to mention. Like, it was... I think that's an example of just following the storyline that's given to you. I think it would have been plussed if Spacey had been talking about the DPS more, just because that's the storyline he had been fed by this color.
Not going to be enough as Modern Renegade.
What are your thoughts so far, Billy?
I mean, what he's being given by the color, I think he's really following the action quite nicely and putting out the salient points. I really like that he's picking up that who is it, Auto Rave. He called that the Grab Dragons would be available in the previous mid fight, and then the action. I don't think that they were giving any favors by the ops there, because I think that it was the camera angles that they were being shown that may have not been able. They wouldn't have been able to see the launch of it. You could hear it from the sound cue, but it depends on how loud their sound is also in their ears.
Yeah.
I think he's doing a good job really narrating the story, getting where we're going and what we're doing when we get there. Fair. And then Classy is absolutely giving him the room to move and the story where he wants to lead the viewer. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Very nice.
He's a pushing on through.
Biggest big deal about that one is getting Rian, because Rian not having Zarya charge and Zhenya Genius potentially having that sooner actually makes a big difference. Especially if Zhenya has that Graviton to work with and Bunny Hog already get that dragon in one fight. You're looking at a pretty good chance for a defense here, especially without anything like a Transcendence or a Sound Barrier on the other side to stop anything.
Into this next fight, Aggressive Studio throw in their Grab Dragon combination of their own and is able to destroy both of the tanks of Modern Renegades. So logic would tell us now the remaining members of Renegades just got to back up into the spawn room.
Yeah, they will do so. Of course, Amaterasu has switched up to the Genji's getting closer and closer to that blade, but Reboot not quite to the Nano yet, so it might just be a solo blade. And that could be easily countered by Leo Pen's Sound Barrier if they choose to do that. So we'll see what the verdict will be on that one in the next fight. But I'm looking for shatters. This is all about the Reinhardt play this fight.
Common story of main tank difference. Who is the better and when or how? The best way to really dictate this is with the Earth Shatter, but both Ryans actually block their counterpart shatters there. So maybe get a little bit big to their boots there, knowing they had a sort of situation. They could have not really had to use the Earth Shatter, but they were able to do so. Nano Boost comes on in over the top. So low, having to get topped up by his team. He can't do any he can do the damage, but he can't find any kills. And this just gives Aggressive Studio the opportunity to get aggressive and get these kills, as they now just want to back on out and force Modern Renegades into the spawn.
Bunnyhawk's Hanzo has been filthy, by the way. Can I just say that? It's been hitting shots that you're like, how do you keep hitting these shots? It's actually, I would say impossible. It's just really good. If you're able to do that on a Hanzo, you definitely deserve to play on a level like this. That's great to see. They got the early kill and damage 2k though, that gives them a little bit more room to walk forward and not be wary of the Doomfist. And so far, damage 2k has tried to mostly distract. Not so much go for the kills, but make sure that people are displaced or looking in a different direction while other stuff is happening.
Yeah, I'm all 4,500 throws on in that dragon, and yeah, that's all you can really say from there. 3 kills from the dragon, and they just go on in clean on up, and they get the second point here.
Yeah, see, I think that was a missed opportunity for a little bit of emotion build. Like, build some of the hype off of that. That was a
Get out of my head.
That was a huge play. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're thinking the same thing.
Yeah, there was zero emotion coming from you there, Spacey. I would have gotten up out of my chair, and I know that you're very Britishly reserved. We've talked about this personally when we've casted together. Don't be afraid to get up, because, I mean, we do it in our sound checks. I know that you can get there. So, you know, that dragon that came out from MMR, that's a 3-piece. You should have gotten really hyped, because there was a counteracting dragon available, and he just couldn't get it off because the tank line was done.
Yep. They tried to coalesce, but it wasn't enough.
Too much damage. And Amaterasu getting forward and really putting pressure on Bunny Hog. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple places there that you could really force the issue and really talk about the forward aggression coming through the dragons. And just say, you know, and here comes the forward pressure on the back of that dragon strike. Yeah. Just a little more emotion.
Yeah, I would like to have seen a little bit more emotion out of that one as well.
That's just a fight win. Like, simply put, you know, Dragon Strike with the Graviton, no sound barrier.
I will say this is a very dry set of casters. Like between the two of them, they're just like they both just have this kind of not in a bad way, but you know, just like these understated casting styles.
Reserved.
Yeah.
Reserved.
Very.
Your Transcendence on the other side, you just win. Like there's nothing you can do against that as your Aggressive Studio.
They're playing the risky style, and they obviously didn't have the sound barrier to counteract it. And it made show, but Modern Renegades pushing on in quite aggressive now. They were able to take down Bunny Hog on that Hanzo of all things. Quite rare, you don't sometimes see the Hanzo being the first pick, but nevertheless, coming into this next fight, couple of ults to work with. These ultimates being shown. No, Shatter comes on out though.
What a nade.
Yeah, that was a really clunky cast though. The cast through that fight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe he felt like he was in Color's space, and so Spacey tried to kind of thought about throwing. I mean, I'll sometimes put dramatic pauses in myself, but you could tell like Classy kind of tried to pick it up, and they end up talking over each other. I think it was a clunky transition, and Spacey realized in the moment that he probably shouldn't be throwing there, and tried to kind of autocorrect or self-correct it. It just felt a little clunky. Let's go back and watch it again and see
fight win. Like simply put, you know, Dragon Strike with the
Let's
with
look
the
at our
Graviton,
timing here.
no sound barrier or transcendence on the other side. You just win. Like there's nothing you can do against that as your Aggressive Studio.
They're playing the risky style. They obviously didn't have the sound barrier to counteract it. It made show, but Modern Renegades pushing on in quite aggressive now. They were able to take down Bunny Frog on that Hanzo of all things. Quite rare, you don't sometimes see the Hanzo being the first pick, but nevertheless coming into this next fight, couple of ults to work with.
Oh, but it was huge that the Hanzo got taken out. That was an opportunity. Then Hanzo gets taken out again. He does manage to get the dragons off? Question mark?
These ultimates.
No!
Nerf Shatter comes on out.
Dragons got wasted. That's okay. There's a lot going on here, and I don't know. It almost sounds like Spacey gets a little bit lost in the action. I'm not even. Let's give it another look. See, I'm not even quite sure what to suggest on this one.
Risky style.
Because it definitely feels a little
They didn't
clunky.
have the sound
And I think maybe there it should have just been a little bit more focused on the action as opposed to talking about the generalized style of the team. I think getting more specific in this state of the fight is the way to go. No, but of course, you always, we talk about, during our caster class, we've talked about it pretty much every week. But you want to start broad and get specific. And then, you can kind of back out from time to time. This was when we were watching Wolf and Achilles, or I'm sorry, it was Wolf and ZP cast. They did that very well. I mean, that was an absolute masterclass and story on getting specific on issues. And then every once in a while you pull it back and remind everybody of the broader picture. But this is not the time to remind people of the broader picture. This is a time to stay in the specifics of the fight. Grav Dragons are the win condition for Aggression Studio or Aggressive Studio. And Hanzo gets taken out before he can pull the trigger on Dragons. Then the Grav does finally come out, and Hanzo gets killed before he can launch Dragons and ends up wasting the ultimate.
Quite aggressive now. They were able to take down one job on that.
What's that?
There's kill number 1 on the Hanzo. That's
Right.
That's the one.
So that's the first one. And so they have to hold on to Dragons. I think there was a little bit of an opportunity for Renegades to get aggressive there, but they chose to just kind of wait it out. I mean, Modern Renegade's clearly setting the tempo for this. I mean, you could just tell by the ult rotation. Like, if I'm Leopan in this scenario, I'm holding on to that sound barrier until Grav Dragons comes out from the other team again to try to get back in a good ult rotation. But
Hanzo,
as far as casting this fight,
rare, you don't sometimes see the Hanzo being the first pick, but nevertheless coming into this next fight, couple of ults to work with. These ultimates being shown. Nerf Shatter.
yeah, okay. I think it was an issue of Spacey perhaps getting a little too much in the broad. We needed to stay in the specifics, and I think that it would have naturally led the rest of the fight, and we wouldn't have had the awkward pause / transition. I think that could have all been fixed by just staying in the specifics of the win condition for the defense and what we were seeing on screen.
Right.
Comes on out though. Gets 2 people down to the ground, and MMR 4,500 making work on this Hanzo. And Modern Renegades getting this momentum on the point, pushing it on through.
That was a beautiful Graviton, but they managed to get the kill on the Bunny Hog while he was casting Dragon Strike, and that made all the difference. Otherwise, that fight's just over, and I just hold. But now the Nano Blade goes in.
Nano
Sound
Blade.
barrier is there. Grenade.
Soundbar is able to counteract it thus far, but Emastasu's able to take down Zoya. But off the back of this Coalescence, Aggressive Studio are able to pull themselves back in this fight. Able to win it on out. It's not Amatasu he needs to die, but he doesn't want to take too many people with him to the grave.
Amaterasu so far just winning. Of course, Amaterasu, the Japanese use that to indicate, well, fire deities and fire gods. It has a lot to do with those flames, and so far they are indeed on fire on the Genji as well.
Nice, classy.
Rayan has this Graviton
And
Surge
here
to
comes the
work
Grav
with
Dragons.
this Dragon combination. This spell's absolute disaster for Aggressive Studio. Modern Renegade just come on in off the back of this ultimate play and its ultimate value. Team kill.
But again, a missed opportunity to set up the next fight. I mean, clear win condition in Grav Dragons. Set that shit up.
And there it is, the Gonga Death. 3 points on Loth, 1 minute 35 on the time back.
Now, we're talking about this Dragon Strike Graviton combo as if it's just a given that you just win a fight with that, right?
Yeah.
But you do also see that Nano Blade consistently forces out the sound barrier from Leopan, meaning
I was
they
thinking the
don't
same
have
thing,
it for
actually.
those situations.
Good pickup, classy.
Yeah, it's just more happening than just, oh, it's a Graviton Dragon and they win.
Oh, ads. We'll go back to large cam. Oh, actually, this is kind of interesting. Here, check this out, chat. This is actually kind of cool. Well, I'm actually going to let this one play. I like the style a lot, just right out of the gate. It's I'm not even sure what it is. But I like this.
Time for retribution!
Okay.
Okay.
It had a cool style to it.
Was not
I
really
like.
too many like counter ultimates as we spoke about before, so the Dragon Strike combination is making work for Modern Renegades, and logically you'd expect them to run it on their defense, but it can be countered quite easily just by simple ultimate usage from the supports, often Sound Barrier or Zenyatta's Transcendence. But it's all going to be on Leopan here, as it looks like Modern Renegades are running this Dragon Strike Graviton Surge combo once again.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a staple on this map, to be honest. It's so easy to lock up an entire team because there aren't that many avenues to not stand in. Like, it's just a long street, a long closed, cramped street. So yeah, you'll usually get at least 2 or maybe even 3 members in the Graviton, kill those straight away with the Dragon Strike, and then you just win a fight. Like, there's nothing, I would say there's nothing difficult about it. Like, as long as your Hanzo gets that strike off, that's all you really need.
See, now I would have liked to hear what Aggressive Studio could do, especially when we're in Hero Select, to match, to change their composition to try to match the Nano Blades, Grav Dragons combos that keep coming at them. Because that's, Modern Renegades is just banking on those 2 wombo combos and winning fights with them very consistently, at least through their attack phase. So in Hero Selection, I'd almost like to have heard some suggestions on what the casters might like to see, like put some more opinion in on how to counter that. I mean, if you're going to outplay, if you're not going to rely on ultimates to beat it, how do you outplay the Genji Blade so you can save your sound barrier for Grav Dragons, or the other way around? I mean, do you bring the Diva, which, I mean, of course, that sacrifices your own Grav Dragons, but gives you the ability to perhaps eat the Graviton Surge, but then you're banking on that. So, I mean, but just having that kind of a conversation, I think, would be very interesting as we were in the Hero Select.
I think, Spacey, that you can postulate in this scenario, even suggest compositional shifts. It doesn't have to be this meta, and that's something that I try to do. I try to bring out Junkrat on Anubis, or on really confined spaces like University and Oasis. So I mean, throw it out there, even if it gets shot down. They don't have anything really to defend against a Dragon Blade or a Grav Dragon, especially, with the supports they got. Coalescence isn't really going to keep you up, and if you take a dome shot after that Dragon Strike is done,
no, I think it's kind of. I think that's the purpose of the Doomfist, but even still, I would like to hear the casters kind of point that out.
Yeah,
because the casters made excellent points of when Classy was talking about the kind of Sophie's choice of the sound barrier, you have to use it for either Nano Blade or Grav Dragons, both of which can win team fights for Modern Renegades. So what's your other option? You've got to have an answer for the second one. And I think they had already done a good job of establishing the problem for Aggressive Studio, but never really suggested an answer. And I mean, that's just an area to interject, your personal opinions, which can give more personality to it. And with, two very dry personalities, two very dry casters, any chance to interject that personality, I think, is huge. And offering your opinions is certainly a good way to do that.
Difference is the Moira and the Genjis. One team opting for a Doomfist and the other opting for an Ana for an MMR 4500, able to get this early.
Yes, and at this point, it's just reciting the compositions isn't good enough. And that sounded a little harshly than I meant it to. I apologize. What I was intending behind that is, I think explaining why they're bringing those heroes as opposed to just listing those heroes would have bigger impact on the story and for the viewer to understand what the goal is from the compositions that we're seeing. And I mean, just right out of the gate, you've got Rayan and MMR getting kills immediately.
Rayan now goes on in on this Zarya. Something you want to be messing around with, it will destroy you, as Rayan does. And Modern Renegades are able to get this fight win.
So far,
Another big
start for
space.
the Renegades. We're sort of expecting right now. They are looking like.
I don't mind a little bit of dead air, but that was a big
that
space.
wins not only off the ult combo, but also off the vanilla fights. Funny Hanzo has really been stepping up on his Hanzo. If they can do more work on that, this could be a very close match here.
Reboot drops so low, but with these early kills, no DPS left for Aggressive Studio. Modern Renegades able to just go on in and clean up, but they did lose a couple members, so if a fast respawn and rally from Aggressive Studio comes, it's going to be detrimental for Modern Renegades.
Modern Renegades needs to get those three groups in, but they have a Lucio. They can taxi it back. Be a slightly easier attack now.
Oh yeah, no, missed opportunity.
Corner,
I mean, just from the attacking team. Like, Aggressive Studio, I mean, they kind of started to do it, but if they had tried to pounce on the right Zarya 10 seconds sooner, they'd have bought themselves a lot of space there. Anyway.
Just a bit of free positioning won't stop Modern Renegades from...
And here comes Nano Blade.
Nano Boost Dragon Blade comes on out, and with no sound barrier, nothing to counteract it, he just goes on in. Slashes and dashes, as again he does get these 2 kills. Earth Shatter though. I'm actually going to pull one back. There's 3 kills for Aggressive Studio. Came from absolutely nothing, and it looks like they're going to be able to take the point as Modern Renegades have no time left alive.
Yeah, Modern Renegades so far, they had a good start on that hold, but
It's one way to do it. Win the front line.
4.5 minutes for point B. They're slightly slower pace, but Aggressive did stop Modern Renegades a few times throughout their entire endeavor throughout this map, so there's still plenty of opportunity to beat that time back, to be faster. And that would be a good statement after that first map, because they want to show they're still in this series, of course. They don't want to go home when they're so close to the end.
Yeah, of course. They need this map to really claw it back. So this attack has to be crucial. They don't want to end in overtime because they physically cannot win if that happens. Ultimates to work with from both teams. Key ones are going to be this Graviton Surge and Dragon Strike from not too far off both teams. And Modern Renegades just a little bit behind as Aggressive Studio have theirs online. It's going to be looking like it's going to take place. Go on in, Graviton Surge, sound barriers, absolutely everything. Oh my god! It's a tale of 2 absolute giants, and one of their names is MMR 4500. What a great Dragon Strike.
I mean, Krotz just not having the sound barrier and Leofan not having it yet is the difference maker in that fight. They get the exact same value out of the ultimates, but because that sound barrier is there, Krotz keeps their teams alive in order to be able to get their own combo off, and Leofan just couldn't quite get it up in time.
One thing we haven't really talked about today is stakes. And both of these games that we've been watching are in playoffs. And I mean, granted, I mean, that's probably something that was established, before the first map or something like that. But it's always good to remind viewers of the stakes. That there was some stat I saw where it's like nobody watches an entire series straight through. I mean, that's not entirely true, but you get so many people that pop in and out during a series like this. It's always good to remind people of the stakes. And it was Classy kind of started to say something about, you know, Aggressive Studio doesn't want to go home this late in the tournament or something to that regard.
Yep.
But I would always good to remind people of the stakes, where you're at, what you're fighting for. I don't feel like you could really do that too much.
Work with. Gonna be this Genji Nano moves on Earthshatter if it's able to be large enough. My word!
What?
Sorry, my dog started barking in her sleep. I got distracted. I don't know if you can hear her. I mean, she doesn't open her mouth, right? So
I can hear the.
Yeah, she's barking in her sleep. You alright, doggo? She also sleeps with her eyes kind of open, and it's a little creepy. No. Sorry. Alright, distracted by doggo. Let's go back and rewatch this fight.
What a great Dragon Strike.
I mean, Krotz just not having the sound barrier and Leofan not having it yet is the difference maker in that fight. They get the exact same value out of the ultimates, but because that sound barrier is there, Krotz keeps their teams alive in order to be able to get their own combo off, and Leofan just couldn't quite get it up in time.
Work with. Gonna be this Genji Nano moves on Earthshatter if it's able to be large enough. My word! The yield makey slap. It always works. Quote me on that if you want, but nevertheless, he goes on in off the back of a huge Earthshatter, allowing his team to really get the momentum for what they needed there. Nobody from Aggressive Studio was able to move. 2 minutes 40 left on the clock.
2 minutes 40. It's still plenty of time to work with. But you do see that our time is getting shaved down.
That was a great
ever
throw.
so slightly.
That was actually a very well-timed, nice throw from Spacey. I really liked that transition. Good job, buddy.
And Modern Renegades are backing off a little bit because they keep losing like 1 or 2 members in fights. They cannot keep holding their position and then they'll get overrun. They'll still have a Nano Blade. They go in. Sound barrier is there again. It is full out.
Sound barrier, the main real counter there is Amaterasu. Absolutely decimated.
Yep, here
the
comes
fight,
Grav Dragons.
taken down before you can get any
Rinse
real
and
value.
repeat.
MMR 4500 now finds himself up onto this high ground. Earthshatter catches a couple members of Modern Renegades. I don't think it's going to be enough as Aggressive Studio need to back up to the spawn. 2 minutes left on the back.
You're really looking at the difference once again. Like the Nano
Another
Blade
great throw.
almost feels like it's.
Yeah. Spacey's transitions are really nice and well-timed. Very well-timed.
He did that one. He did that last one especially with really good intent.
Yeah.
I really like that one. The intent was there, and there's a little bit of gravel in his voice when he did it.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's the most excitement we've heard out of him the entire map.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go back and let's give that another listen. That was really nice. I'm back us up about 30 seconds. Pay attention to
And
the
Modern
transition.
Renegades are backing off a little bit because they keep losing like 1 or 2 members in fights. They cannot
Oh,
keep
I don't
holding
think
their
I backed up
position
enough.
and then they'll get overrun.
You did.
Oh, I did. Here's the
They
blade.
go in.
Okay.
Sound barrier is there
Blade.
again. It is full out.
Sound barrier, the main real counter there is Amaterasu. Absolutely decimating the fight, taken down before he can get any real value. MMR 4500 now finds himself up onto this high ground. Earthshatter catches a couple members of Modern Renegades. I don't think it's going to be enough as Aggressive Studio need to back up to the spawn. 2 minutes left on the back.
You're really
Yeah.
looking at the
So
difference
good.
once again. Like
That was a
the
wonderful transition. Absolutely.
Nano Blade. It almost feels like its only job is to force out that sound barrier of Leopan.
And,
now what's
and again, that 2-minute warning. It's a very important number. That 2 minutes is so important.
when they get their Dragon Strike combo again, there will not be a sound barrier, whereas Krotz could have had the opportunity to go close if they didn't get killed there.
Rain completely whiffed that the Gravity Surge, sorry, there. Well, nevertheless, he fought on the Zvaron, so it's the main person you need in it. And there it is once again, off the back of the ults, they're able to win the fight.
And look who has a sound barrier when there's a Dragon Strike Dragon on the other side. It is going to be Krotz. Yes, Ebery will be able to throw in their Coalescence in that Graviton as well for the extra damage, but it's still a tool that's going to be online that will be tricky to deal with for Aggressive Studios. And only 1 minute 10 on the clock. They really need to win this next one to make it even sort of comfortable to get into the second checkpoint, because they might even get it contested again. And MMR doesn't stop. He just gets the kills.
Don't sleep, he don't rest. He's on this high ground getting the damage done. And literally you can't dodge him. His aim's so crucial. It looks like these shots, he just finds them a needle in a haystack sort of situation, and he's making it work for his team.
They turn on the taps of the good drinks. You know, you just took a sip and thought, you know what? I can do this. I'm thirsty for some kills.
Dragon shot goes on in. Just get for a Pareto shot. Slams many to the ground, and the Dragon Blade comes on in. Finds Frey looking for his fourth. It allows his team to get the kill. Modern Renegades holding strong with only 20 seconds remaining.
Amaterasu just slices and dices through everything there. You could barely keep up with the 180 flicks and flick to the next target.
I will say I would like to hear that gravel and that little bit of that extra emotion in the middle of the sentence, where I feel like he's like kind of staying at this emotional level and then transitions with this like hype up at the end. And I would like to see that little spike of energy during the big ult combos and kind of bring it back down at the end. So when you're throwing to your color, you're not throwing to color with a spike of hype. That would be my one criticism on that.
Yep, don't be afraid to throw the emotion in the middle of the sentence.
Target dash slash so fast. Like seeing Genjis do that when they're actually so good they can just switch between those things. Can they even touch the card? Yes, barely.
Get on, but is he gonna get the sound? Oh, he dies before he can get the sound barrier, and that spells disaster. But it's great value for Modern Renegades. They go up 2-0 in the series and move on to match point.
Yeah, decisively so as well. Of course, they did get that first point stolen away from them, but that was it. Just second Streets phase. You never get past the bookshop, really. You didn't even see that Aggressive Studio really could do anything. A lot of that is on the back of just that ultimate management. Being able to have that sound barrier every single time for your own Graviton Dragon, but not when the enemy team has it. It's a problem. It's it looks like I have accidentally done something to my cam. I am sorry.
Look at Spacey's face.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
So I mean,
all in all, a fairly solid cast.
Crucial is one of your words, Spacey.
Yep.
You use it a lot with me. You use it a lot with anybody that you're casting with. I think finding a thesaurus and finding words that are crucial, that are along the same lines as crucial.
Well, it's certainly a crutch word. When saying that his aim was crucial, like that, he would just kind of. It's not as descriptive as it could be.
Yes. And then the emotion. I'm seeing emotion from you now, and I'm loving it. I heard it in that transition, and my heart leapt. And I was so happy because that's the first time that I've really heard you like dig in.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
And you let it out. And oh my God, yes, sir.
And I would try to dig in during the big moments of the fight. Don't wait until you're a throw to dig into it. Try to lean into those great wombo combos where they're getting the big kills, where they're lighting up the feed. That's when throw in that gravel, that extra bit of that oomph, and then bring it back down when you're going to throw it off to your color caster.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't take away that one transition that we highlighted in the Streets phase. Just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, nothing taken away from that phase there in the Streets phase. I mean, that was a hell of a cast from both of you. So
that was a really good cast.
I like it. Did it a whole bunches.
Yep, that would be my suggestion. Is where you're building the emotion, and try to continue to build as the map goes on. You don't want to stay even keeled the whole time. Try to build up that hype a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, you got to stick within your own style. So I mean, you have to find a way to do it your way. I would also say make sure you stay in the specifics. There's nothing wrong with backing out and giving a general overview as far as style or whatnot, but stay in the specifics where you're in the thick of the team fight, and then offering your opinions a little bit more, interjecting your own personal opinion, especially when teams are setting up. You're in the hero select phase. Don't be afraid to speculate or to throw out what you would like to see in those scenarios. So I think that's the main things that I would work on that I'm taking away from this particular cast. All in all, it sounded really good. Very nice cast from both Spacey and Classy. And once again, thank you for submitting the VOD and letting us kind of put you on the spot here on stream. What's up, Wolf? I see you lurking there, buddy. Well,
no, I echo that too. And nice progress from the last time we saw you.
Yeah, agreed.
Keep it up.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this week's caster class. Thank you all so much for hanging out, for watching. I hope you all learned something. I know I did. I feel like this improves, this improves my casting, just getting the opportunity to do this. So I really do appreciate it. Billy, thank you for joining me.
Of course. 2 pages of notes for me.
Well,
it's what we do.
I hope it's helpful. I in no way proclaim to be an expert. This is just trying to pass on what I've learned, and we'll all get better together. So
that's the point.
All right, my friends. Well, we'll have a podcast on Wednesday. I'm going to try to start doing some more personal streams and get to see my ugly mug some more. Otherwise, I'll see y'all next Monday for more caster class.
Bye, guys. Love y'all.